Hi, is your spiritual ascension not going fast enough? Are you getting into states and you relapse and it takes you hours to even get somewhere good? And it's just taking too long and you wish you could hit it within that 5-minute mark. Ooh, that sweet 5-minute mark. Let's try to do that. And in order for you to do that, first, okay, because this goes in stages, you have got to make sure that you do not relapse, because you can get it faster if you use some tools and you don't relapse. But that means that you need to sharpen the tools, right? So, for example, one great way, and actually the way I first would go about this, so first you need the basic training, right? So you need mindfulness. Buddhists call vipassana, mindfulness on the breath. You're basically trying to just focus and, look at your breath as much as possible and just fixate on the breath until you get absorbed. But at the same time, there's this calmness to it, right? So, but there's also intensity to it. You don't get to decide the intensity. If you have to be intense, you have to be intense. And that's Buddhism. Let's jump to Islam and the Lataif system, and let's talk about burning nafs, okay? And so maybe you focus on your breath a lot and you really have to be disciplined, right? Maybe you have to be like, shut up, just get in there, Now you're burning your nafs, okay? And this is important and this is good. And let's tie that into rainbow body and Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana, Bun, right? There's a alternate nostril breathing visualization where you breathe in one nostril and imagine rainbow particles going into your stomach, right? You breathe all the way down to the floor of your stomach, basically. And then when you breathe out the other nostril, it comes out like smoke. Now, nafs, that's like burning incense, right? So you're denying yourself and you're putting in effort. You're burning your nafs. After you burn your nafs, there was this Sufi, he explained to me, he said, after you burnt your nafs, get some tea or some fruit. You need water and fruit. Don't go in on the candy, because you're gonna have to burn a lot of nafs to get good. So don't go in on the candy. Get the tea with the fruit. Like, take some frozen fruit, put it in some tea, drink it, right? And that's gonna replenish you, because when you burn your nafs, then it's gonna get kind of if it doesn't get a reward, it's gonna get sour on you. It's gonna get whiny. So that's not good. You burn, and also now we can go back to Hindu system of the Manipura chakra. So this is taken for granted that you have your basic needs met, all right? That you have your grounding, and that you also have good sensuality. So you need that body scanning, you need that mindfulness of your body, right? And sensualities in the body. And the nafs, burning your nafs is going to help with that, by the way. Because, for example, I don't like this. The way bad, it comes in bad, is through society, right? You have to wait and ask to go to the toilet. What the heck? I'm supposed to go to the toilet when I'm supposed to go to the toilet. It's like, put on clothes, you look weird naked, or something like that, right? And so, when you do naked yoga and all this kind of heals that thing, and it can let go of trauma. So the nafs, burning nafs, very, very important concept, okay? But also important from the Manipura is it's a open fire of an easy sun, right? So you don't go to the gym and you just, go so hard you don't want to go to the gym again, because consistency is key. So you take it easy. So this is like willpower stuff, like that's Manipura, according to the New Age stuff, but also according to the historical Assert Chakra Nirupanam, okay? So, anything else? Yes, okay, so let's talk about the Sviroth, okay? So look, goes down to the kingdom, goes up into the moon, okay? Dream, sleep, right? And we also want to understand that it goes all the way up back one day. So we have to fill ourselves with pleasant imagery, pleasant visualization, pleasantness, dreams, hopes. Imagine if it was like this. Wouldn't it be cool if cats were big and pink and you can ride them like horses? It's just it's just an example. It's just an example, right? And then one day, it goes back up. Right now it's come down and it goes back up. It's gonna go up tonight when you dream, and you're gonna get a feel for how pleasant it is. It also goes up during meditation. If you hit transcendental states, especially if you feel or you get some kind of pleasant sensation, and it's like, yeah, we got this, right? And that's something you can take away from that you're uploading into the higher kingdom from this earth realm. It's just emphasizing that being absorbed in pleasantness and bringing it home through absorption, which is going to bring us back to jhana, which is Buddhist meditation, absorbed concentration. Okay, so a good start there. I would go back, actually. See, I use all the chakras all the time, right? I would go back to the Bija mantras of the system of the Hindu system, the 6 chakras. Tibetans use them too. So there's both Vajrayana and yogis use this. And the Bija mantra, I would put it in Reiki. So I would do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I would go lam, lam, ram, yam. I would anchor it there and move my consciousness into focusing very intensely on these parts and try to get the vibration quality of seeding the mantra, which is to just say, let's say I want to seed the lowest chakra, the Muladhara chakra. So I focus on my tailbone and I go lam, and then I go up to the top of my sacrum, which is the Swadhisthana chakra, and I say lam, and then I move up and down lam, 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 and I try to move my consciousness and with such intensity that it starts to vibrate. And that's the beginning of it, okay? That's the beginning of it. There's also the Tumo chakras, the Tibetan subtle body connections, right? But that's different. Then you use your breath instead. But anyways, we can go into that later. It's great to fuse with. It's best that you use all the chakras together, because the fact is, I'm gonna conclude with this, but I'm gonna talk about what's the problem that you're gonna have to solve basically on this path. One of the problems, and it's quite easily when you take in all systems. But you get that vibration going by going like ah, and then feeling that area and trying to spread that vibration into the subtle body by anchoring it to that place on your body. And what this does is that in very short time you can first get the vibration going by doing the resonance, like that, and then na 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 na, and now you have a very good vibration in a spine. And I also have the 8th chakra called higher heart that I use to get the vibration into my arms, right? It's very important. And from there, now you're meditating, but you're already vibrating, and then you can shift your focus to the vibration and start to kind of like fill yourself with pleasantness. And some people do consider this to be the first jhana. I think in the description it's kind of the first jhana. I don't really care. I care about the results. So for me, when you come here, It's so good because it doesn't have to be Muslim. It doesn't have to be Christian. It doesn't have to be Kabbalah and Jewish. It doesn't have to be Hinduism or Buddhism. It's like, well, we believe in this. No. We believe in who wins. We are cheering for the winner, and the winner is the practice that works. And that's why we're hitting it with all the practices at once. Because the issue you're going to run into is that language is made by the masses. And the masses have an average of the average human spiritual attainment. And so language will represent the average spiritual human attainment, right? And so once you start to peak a little bit above average, you're gonna run out of words. And even when these other people try to explain, it's like, no, it's not quite like that. Because it doesn't fit well. Because even the people that do use other words, they still crash. Like, I'll give you a good example. Now, here's why symbols are so important. So in the Tibetan wheel of samsara, right? There in the middle, there's a pig symbolizing delusion. Right? And so many people is like, oh, well, if you're meditating and you're seeing visions, you're becoming delusional. You have to watch out. And that's true. But it's the same driving force that creates freedom and the ability to see whatever you want. So without it, you cannot have liberation, right? There's no way out. And so these two are not just overlapping, but they're one and the same. But one is approached without suffering and is taken in as a release and a creation of what is desired. And so all the time, whenever somebody explains to you and it's like annihilationist, it's like we have to annihilate the soul so that we're finally free, that means that they don't understand that it's in the context of the wheel, of being the hub of the wheel of samsara. It's not in the cyclical nature of the moon outside of the wheel that represents, nirvana, freedom, moksha, liberty, paradise, pleasure, and basically also a lot of responsibility for your experience and you concocting your own thing. The same way you concoct a lucid dream. So when you can okay, I like this thing here, I'm gonna dream about Disneyland. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to the Pacific, and then you dream about it, and it's so pleasurable. That's a little taste. And the people that do not understand this, they're gonna lead you to. You're gonna have quiet, but you're not gonna have peace, right? And that's just no way to live life. That's worse malpractice. People have been rolling and spasming on the floor from Kundalini awakenings and all kinds of stuff for ages, okay? And still they made it. Jesus going out in the desert, imagining probably this Satan figure and all that stuff, and Buddha seeing Mara. Tons of these stories around. Wasn't there something about Muhammad as well? He had some issues. And it was like everybody, he was up in the cave, right? He was up in the cave hearing voices. That's basically how the whole Quran was made. So these things happen, and these people would tell you to stop. And yet they are following this, you understand? So you have to come at this like that. Anyways, what we're going to talk about the coming time ahead of us, when I'm posting videos, we're going to talk about stuff like not relapsing, because it's January, it's 2025, but it's always going to be relevant, of course. But if you take something, last thing I want to say here on this video is open fire of an easy sun. Okay? So willpower, when you go out and you try to attain these goals, value consistency. Don't lift too much if it makes you hate going to the gym. Instead, just open fire on an easy sun and return consistently every other day, so that you get the habit. You got to get those habits. You got to get that spiritual practice. If meditating for longer than 1 minute makes you hate it, don't meditate for longer than a minute. I started out with 1 minute. I'm doing fine, okay? And also, if you're the fastest way to keep yourself accountable is through systems like chakras, through 1, 2, 3, 4 jhanas, and through gateway experience. Basically, if progress doesn't come immediately, you focus on those immediate progresses. Like if you work out in the gym, okay, don't lift too much. Just do a really good technical full body workout, because then you'll immediately gonna have better posture, right? And if you immediately have better posture, what's gonna happen is that since your posture is better, you're gonna be standing taller, you're gonna take up more space, and because of that, you immediately get thinner, you immediately look better. And so like those kinds of things is what you want to achieve in the beginning. You don't need 24 hours meditation. You don't need to meditate 1.5 weeks. 1 minute, you should, if it's right for you, you will immediately get benefits. You will get benefits in half a minute, okay? Just as soon as you close your eyes and connect with your breathing, I believe, but you gotta lower your standards. We're talking small advantages, but for you to start with something like the gateway tapes, was 40 minutes, that's totally legit practices. Tons of evidence on both Reddit and YouTube that it works. I would definitely start there. I promote the gateway experience. I also promote the chakra system. I know it works. I know all of these system works. It's about how you use it, and for that, the main component, the absolute central component that you need is honesty and integrity personally towards yourself and what you want, okay? Not what the Buddhists want you to do, not what, have you ever lied? Have you ever, then you need Jesus, come to our ceremony, give us money. Stay away from that. Integrity towards yourself. And once you have that, I think you're going to see that whatever practice you want to take in. Because, let me talk up the Christians, because now I said something bad about their stuff, their religion. You have that guy who was with Jake Paul, the guy with the curls who looked like a Greek, Imagine the most like a Spartan, King Leonidas from Jake and Paul, very Christian guy. He has a practice. He's attaining through his practice. It's solely Christian practice, but he's fasting. He's doing a lot of good work, this guy. So by no means think that I shun away from Christianity just because I gave that. They have the television pastors, but there are a ton of issues with all the religions, and don't even get me started on the chaos that is within. Honestly, it's just I would like to stay positive. But you all got to, these systems as organizations are always going to attract people who are horny for power. Stay away from that shit. Get yourself a spiritual practice. Yeah.